everybody? It is me, Jurassic Master, here to say that today we are doing a breakdown video on WandaVision Episode 1, Season 1. Woohoo! This is so much fun because you know what Marvel Studios did to me, guys? Oh my goodness. They gave us 2 episodes this week. If I had to describe how I'm feeling right now, this is how I'm feeling. This meme, this is exactly how I'm feeling. Marvel Studios, let's release 2 episodes of WandaVision this week. Jurassic Master, the what? I mean, that's how I basically feel right now, of like, what? Why the what? So I have to do 2 breakdowns this week. Let's start. Let's start with the breakdown of the first episode. Goodness, what am I doing? Whoa. If you're gonna watch this, then you have to see the first episode. If you haven't seen the first episode and do not care for spoilers, continue watching. But this is your warning. There are going to be spoilers in this video. So, we actually get to see our first Easter egg in the first, scene. And it's in the trailer. I will be using scenes from the first trailer that we got. So, yeah. Deal with that. I will leave it in the description below if you want to see the trailer. And, yeah. But, 0102. Now, to a casual fan, that's just... That doesn't make it. There's nothing there. Oh boy. There actually is something there. Those numbers are numbers for a comic book. And the comic book is the Avengers comic book. Basically, Vision gets an anonymous message to come to this disclosed area, and that's where Vision meets this character named the Grim Reaper. And I'm wondering if maybe the Grim Reaper is going to be sort of in this show too, but I don't think so. That would be cool. But I don't think so. I highly doubt it. But it could. I don't know. But I'm getting off track. But named Grim Reaper and says, "Hey, if you help me out, I will give you a physical human body, not a robotic body." But the Grim Reaper says there's one cost. You have to kill the Avengers. But Vision is working with the Avengers right now, so he's not going to do it. So Vision declines it. The Grim Reaper says, "All right, fine. You don't have to take it. But if you do change your mind," he gave him an amulet that will notify the Grim Reaper saying, "Hey, I changed my mind." And then Vision goes back. I think, yeah. Vision goes back. Hawkeye confesses his love to Wanda, and Wanda declines it. I think, yeah. That's that one. Let's go to the next Easter egg that I saw. So this next Easter egg is the address. Now, I looked up. I took notes on my phone and took notes of the address is 2800. So I looked up. Marvel 2800, and what came up was something interesting. So the Marvel universe that we see is Earth 616. Now, since there's Earth 616, that means there are other Earths and other universes. And there is a universe out there that is Earth 2800. Now you're probably wondering, oh, what is that Earth? That Earth is a comic book series that is exactly pretty much spot on with the movies. Here's a rough description of it. Loki has found a stone, or a rock, a stone, and it lands on Earth. He goes to Earth to get the stone. Sounds a lot like the Tesseract when he goes to Earth to get the Tesseract. And he also has a staff that shoots lasers. Sounds awfully like the one, like the Avengers movie. They battle Loki. Loki releases the Chitauri onto New York. I think it was New York, or he releases the Chitauri on Earth, and the Avengers have to all assemble together and defeat the Chitauri. Still sounds a lot like the movie, first movie. Second movie, uh, they all are together and sort of starting to break apart, but not really wanting to. Like they're staying only together like the Avengers are staying only together just in case there's like a last minute villain's coming up or something like that. And then they encounter Ultron. Sounds a lot like the second one. Ultron attacks a lot of people, basically destroys a couple cities, takes an army. Avengers defeat them, and the Avengers sort of break up a little bit. And then the Avengers have like a little civil war between themselves. Sort of sounds like Captain America's Civil War, but they break and then they break apart and just slowly drift apart. That is that comic book issue, or the Earth 2000 or Earth 2800. That's that comic book one. Is strangely enough is in the newspaper. Now, I don't have any footage of the actual episode because there hasn't been really any images that have been brought up that has the newspaper that I could find. But yet again, I didn't really look for it. But we're not going to talk about that. But in the newspaper, when I saw it, I took a picture of it, and it said tickle. I think it said something along the lines with, "Baby June says first words to Mother Sue," and so I'm like, okay, that seems suspicious. That seems really suspicious. So I looked up who is Sue, but you may not know her as Sue. You may know her as Invisible Woman, part of the Fantastic Four. So I'm wondering if that's sort of hinting at the Fantastic Four that is going to be coming out. Because there is a Fantastic Four movie that is going to be coming out in like 2023, I want to say. Somewhere around that time, I think. But I was wondering, okay, maybe this is like, because the director of that movie is the same director as Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. So I was wondering, maybe if he's doing that, maybe he's doing if he's doing that, maybe he's doing this one too and directing WandaVision. I looked up the director for this one and the director for the Fantastic Four movie. Not the same director, but that does not mean that they are talking together and being like, "Hey, could you put this Easter egg in here for my little thing?" And so yeah, and yeah, that's that Easter egg. So now June. Let's talk about June's name. So I looked up June, and there was one person that came up. June Covington. Now, the origins on this character is that she's basically a crazy person. She was really into this one person, and I think it was his left arm was like shorter than the other one, and sort of like disabled in that, like the arm was something wrong was wrong with this dude's arm, and she was trying to help him. So she makes a like a medicine or makes something that fixes his arm, and he turns her into the police, saying, "Oh, she's doing illegal stuff and doing all this bad stuff." She goes to jail and in prison, and sort of goes to the crazy house of like went crazy, and then comes out of there, acts all fine, goes to that dude and says, "Hey, I'm sorry, I've changed my ways. Can we still talk and be friends?" And then later she kills him, and then is sent back to prison, where like the true big bad villains are, where like Osborn and other supervillains go to, and that's when and I was like, oh, who are these people that she's interested or teaming up with? And then I learned that she is sort of like the evil Scarlet Witch for this team. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what the team is called. The team is called the Dark Avengers. So basically like the evil version or the darker Avengers. So I'm wondering if the next big Thanos kind of character is going to be not just a person, but a team of supervillains that the new Avengers are going to have to battle, which I think would be really cool because having like a Dark Avengers, I don't know too much about the Dark Avengers, but I think it would be really cool to introduce that kind of style. So we all were wondering, well, I was personally like, what is this symbol? Who could it be? Who are you? So I looked up Marvel Sword symbols, and it is the Sentient World Observation Response Department. And I'm like, what? It spells out sword, which I think is funny. And interesting enough, sword is part of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I was like, wait, that's interesting. But who's sort of like the leader of like this sort of branch of the, I guess, I'm gonna say company, but who's the leader of Sword? So I looked up who the leader of Sword is. The leader of Sword is Abigail Brand. I don't know too much about her. I'm assuming she's either going to have a small part in this whole thing, is what I'm thinking. Of like, she's not going to have a really big part. She's just going to play a minor little role of like maybe being an Easter egg for what's to come, most likely. So seems like Sword is, they deal with sort of things that'll affect the world and universe. Sort of like the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D., but I guess before. So basically, I think they're the ones, because at the end, we see their symbol at the end of the first episode with their sword, or with the symbol in a book. And I was like, what is happening? It's like it's like really like a reality TV show. I think Wanda has made her own little world. Like I've been saying, making her own little world. But I think this is during the, I think timeline-wise, I think this is during the blip. And she is sort of affecting everything outside of the world. Like the actual outside physical world. I think she's affecting the outside physical world. And that's why we hear people say throughout, in that first one, it's like it seems weird and different. Like you can tell everything's off, but it isn't. And an interesting Easter egg is, sort of going off a little bit, it starts off, I'm going to say like air quotes, there is a commercial break, air quotes, in the thing, and the commercial break is about a toaster. And I know you're probably thinking, that's just a coincidence, that it's just some kind of toaster that they're doing. But the thing is, this was red. The light was red. That was the only thing that I could see in that one that was red. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. That was red. And you'll see in the next episode that we see a little bit more color, but we'll talk about that in the next video. And this says Stark. That is important. That is very important to what's all happening. Right now, it's under Wanda is being under control of Stark, or S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. It's sort of trying to keep Wanda in her own little world and being like, oh yeah, if you want a reality TV show to keep you calm and down and like not causing interdimensional problems, we'll cut to a commercial break. We'll have Stark sort of being like, hey, remember him? Well, he's not dead yet, so never mind. Like having it make it seem like this is when Sword has control of Wanda and is in control of like keeping her safe and not affecting everybody in the outside world. That's why we don't hear, well, you'll see in the next episode. Timeline wise, I think this is during the blip. Very weird and bold in like strange. But I think it's because she was the one who snapped out. And if it was after Endgame, she would have probably it would have probably been fine. Like she would have been able to handle it of like dealing with Vision dying. I think this is during the blip, and this is all in the Soul Gem. Because all the souls supposedly in the comics, in the Infinity Gauntlet comic book series, all of the souls that were snapped out went into the Soul Gem. That's what happened allegedly. Instead of like, so I'm wondering if they're sort of keeping of that kind of story of like they're all in the Soul Gem. But Wanda is different from a lot of characters. She is a really strong character. She is a very strong character. And so I'm wondering if that's like she's sort of breaking through and sort of being like people that sort of like, hey guys, Nick Fury, she's someone's breaking through. We're getting a connection. We're able to look in, and so they're just trying to keep her from destroying everything in the Soul Gem, but having it that she still has her own little world. That is my theory. Thank you so much for watching, and it really means a lot to me that you stayed to the end of the video, and actually thought, you know what, let's watch the full video. And I know there's going to be some people who don't watch the full video, and some people who do watch the video. If you did make it to the end, please let me know on how I did with this video, and like put your opinion of like what do I need to change, or what should I add to make the video do good. Because this is my first time doing a breakdown on a full series, which it's going to be a little bit harder, but I do love myself a good challenge. Is that a challenge? Nah. But, thank you so much for watching, and remember, batteries and waffle cake do not mix really good together. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.